Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna be taking a look at some r/entitled parents. Let's see what these entitled Karens are up to today. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get started. Entitled Mother thought I was faking my disability for attention and almost made my injury worse. This happened when I was 10 years old. I was playing in the local park with my 3 older brothers, Jake, 11, John, 12, and James, 14, and our neighbors, Cal, 10, and Craig, 13. We were all laughing, having fun when John had the idea to play a game on the roundabout. The game is pretty dumb and dangerous, but really fun back then. It involved 5 of us holding onto the outside poles as one of us pushed the roundabout as fast as possible. We all had to hold on for dear life or we would get flung off. Last one holding on would win. We all ran up to the roundabout and got into position. My brothers thought it was a bad idea for me to play because I have a joint disability. Later got diagnosed with HEDS. But because there hadn't been an incident for a while, they let me play. I held on, wrapping my legs and arms around the pole along with Cal, John, Craig and Jake. James began pushing the roundabout really fast and we were all screaming and shouting in excitement. For me, the screams of joy turned to screams of severe pain as my leg had dislocated around the pole. As the roundabout spun, it was slowly pulling my legs apart and it was agony. James realized what was happening and immediately grinded the ride to a halt. Everyone was panicking as they couldn't move me and any attempt they made it more excruciating and I screamed louder. In a panic, James, John and Craig told Cal and Jake to stay with me so they could run and get my dad. They didn't know how to fix it but thought my dad would be able to get me off the roundabout with minimum pain. They ran off and a crowd gathered of parents and their kids to see what was going on. The parents did try to touch me but Jake and Cal explained that I have a disability and the others are getting my dad who knows what to do. Adding to that, moving me might make it worse. A lot of the parents looked very concerned, with some kids looking really confused as I looked like I was just sitting there crying. Enters the entitled mother, EM, and her shit of a daughter, EK, maybe about 12. They approached the group and asked what was going on and the other parents explained the situation. EM immediately said how ridiculous everyone was being and saying that I am really just trying to get attention by the looks of things. Cal was with me, patting my back, telling me I was going to be okay, while Jake was telling the other kids not to be mean, as they supposedly were saying the same as EM. EK then told EM how she wanted to go on the roundabout. EM telling her to hold on a minute and approached me and Cal. She began telling me to get off the roundabout and Cal said I couldn't. He tried to explain that our siblings had gone to get my dad but EM ignored him. She told me to get off again before grabbing me and trying to yank me off. I screamed in pain again, begging her to stop, but she just responded, "Stop being overdramatic and get off." I felt an intense pain like never before in my legs and was trying uncontrollably trying to hold on to the pole. EM kept telling me to stop being a baby and stop faking it and let her little baby on. EM pulled me with a lot of force and I fell onto my back with my legs still around the pole. Cal started screaming for Jake and Jake ran over and tried to tackle her, telling her, "Leave her alone." EK then jumped in, telling Jake that I was an attention seeker and tried hitting Jake, saying to leave her mom alone. At this point, EM was trying to drag me and the other parents saw my leg. Now it was visibly obvious that my leg was dislocated. The other parents jumped in and dragged EM away from me as she was screaming, "She's faking! She isn't disabled! She's faking!" As the other parents, along with Cal, tried to put me back in my original position. EK ran after her mom crying because Jake did end up hitting her. The other parents stayed with me, Cal and Jake until my dad arrived while telling their kids to play on other equipment. EM was still screaming and shouting about how we are attention seekers while EK cried for her mom. James, John, Craig and my dad arrived and ran over to me, with my dad gently unhooking my leg from the pole and carefully, along with other parents, carrying me to a nearby bench. My dad told me to do the brave trick and I started biting onto my sleeve as my dad popped my leg back into place. He thanked the other parents for their help and they told my dad what happened to EM. He was fuming and asked them where she was, but when he looked around he saw EM and EK running out of the park. EM must have seen my dad's face because he looked like he was out for blood. After my leg was popped in, I stopped crying and thanked everyone after calming down a bit. They all wished me well and went back to their kids. My dad carried me out of the park and took me to my mom at her work. She was a nurse and Jake told our parents everything. They were horrified and my mother said that if she kept doing what she was doing, she could have caused me serious injury. I never ran into EM or EK again, but my dad told me that if I ever saw her again, to call him immediately. Entitled Mom tries to take my mask to give to her son. So this is my first time writing one of these. I've been reading this thread for the last couple of months or so, and some of the stories seemed unbelievable to me until this happened to me today. Today I went to an Asian grocery store that I frequent often to pick up a few things. I'm wearing gym clothes, a hat, and a 7 Lions mask. One of my favorite DJs/artists. Here is a pic of the mask. I go into the store to pick up some tea and look to see if they have a sauce that I've been looking for. As I'm browsing the shelves, enters this little brat, LB, who is about 10 years old. "Excuse me sir, that's a cool mask you have on." "Thanks buddy, the one you have is pretty cool too." "Can I see it?" "Sure thing man." "No, I mean can I hold it? The design looks really cool." We're in the middle of a pandemic, so I thought maybe this kid is unaware that most people are supposed to be social distancing, and letting him hold my mask could get him and me sick. So I do my best to explain to him, "Sorry kiddo, I can't do that because I don't want to spread my germs to you and get you sick, especially with pandemic going around." This kid's face turns a bit red and he turns around and says, "Whatever," as he stomps off. I kind of just shrug and continue searching for what I'm looking for, thinking that was that. But man was I wrong. Small backstory before we continue. I'm a raver and have been going to large music festivals for the past 4 or 5 years. I have many masks that I have collected from virtually every festival, plus I have ones that represent my favorite DJs and artists. Since mask wearing became a thing, I finally get to wear these masks in public. I was actually excited. I often get questions and compliments from strangers like "cool mask," or if I'm wearing an EDC one for example, "What's EDC?" And I would explain to them what it is or who the artist is and try to expose them to the EDM/rave scene. Most people just like the designs of the mask, so these questions were kind of normal to me at this point. Anyways, back to the story. I'm continuing my search for this sauce I'm looking for and I see this lady, entitled Mother, walking down the aisle from the corner of my eye. "Hey, that's a nice mask you got there." Me not thinking anything of it, just turned to her to make eye contact to be polite. "Thanks." This woman had to be in her late 30s and short. I'm not that tall, I have average height 5.8 feet, but she was definitely like 5'1 or 5'2. I see the little brat behind her too and I have this feeling this is her mother. At this point, I'm not sure of what she wants. "So is there a chance you can let my son hold your mask? He said you were rude to him about it. All he wanted to do was touch it." I'm kind of shocked at this, like what the F is going on? Is this really happening right now? "No ma'am, I do not think I was being rude to your son explaining that he cannot hold my mask because I don't want to spread my germs to him and we're in the middle of a pandemic, you know." "Well, this whole thing is a farce and COVID isn't even real. So take the mask off and let my son hold it." Mind you, her and her son are also both wearing masks themselves. So I sigh as I'm tired from my workout and just want to get the things I need and go home. Look, I'm not taking my mask off and I'm not letting your son hold it either.
Fine, I'll buy it from you. I'll give you $5 for it.
Sorry, not for sale. They don't sell these anymore and these were sold for more than $5. She starts to get louder and more demanding.
That's stupid. Who would spend $5 on a mask? Just let my son hold your mask. You don't need it anyways. COVID isn't real.
I already said no, lady, just leave me alone. I turn to walk away, heading to go check out, and I hear the little brat chimes in at this point.
Mom, I want that mask so bad. Can you please get me one? I'm trying to, sweetie, but this asshole won't let me buy it.
I stop and turn around again. So I'm the asshole? I'm not the one harassing people because you have a spoiled brat due to your bad parenting. If anything, you too are being assholes. I see this woman's face turn red and she marches up to me and reaches out and tries to rip my mask off of my face. I block and smack her hand away from my face really hard. I know and have been practicing martial arts since I was a kid. What the F are you doing? Try that again and I will use force to stop you, I say in a very commanding voice. At this point, people are coming over to the aisle to see what's going on.
You assaulted me. Somebody call the police,
she shrieks out. What? You tried to grab my face to take my mask for your stupid son. I told you to leave me alone.
Give me my mask or I'll press charges. You don't need the mask anyways.
At this point, the manager of the store steps in. She had been standing there and watching this happen the whole time from the monitor. Alright, that's enough, ma'am. You and your son need to leave.
He assaulted me. He should be leaving and you should be calling the cops.
No, I've watched you harass this young man this whole time. Now leave.
No, I didn't do anything wrong. He hit my arm. I'm going to call the cops, get him arrested, and this store closed down because you chinks are so unsanitary.
Mine, the owners, and many customers of the eyes widen. We're both Asian and most of the customers are Asian. The owner pulls her phone out and takes the woman's picture. EM gets even angrier when she realizes what the owner did.
I did not give you permission to do that. Delete it right now or I will really call the police and have you both arrested,
she demanded. Go ahead and call the police. I'll just show them the CCTV cameras and there are plenty of witnesses around to defend this young man. You were harassing him. You tried to take his mask off of his face. If anything, you will go to jail. Want to try your luck? EM stops and goes silent now, noticing the crowd in and around the aisle. She grabs her son by the arm and starts walking towards the door.
Let's go, sweetie. I'm telling the health department about this asshole and you will be out of business by next week.
Don't come back, you are banned from this store, the owner shouts as she walks out and leaves. I thank the owner for helping me out there. She offers to give me the items I have in my hands for free, but I decline. I rather support her business and buy them, especially since she stood up for me. Nothing happened after that. No cops came and everything was back to normal. I check out after finding the sauce I was looking for and left to go home. Okay, that's about it for today. These were some pretty crazy Karens. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe subscribe, maybe like. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.